Did you just get a puppy? Well, here are my 5 golden rules of dog training. So let's get straight into the video. Number 1, always use positive reinforcement and don't ever punish your dog. So what do I mean by positive reinforcement? I preach this all the time in my videos, but what I mean by positive reinforcement is that every time your dog does something well, or a behavior that you actually like, or they're listening to a command that you say, you always want to have almost like a happy and a praising attitude towards their listening / action to your command. So every time they have a good behavior or they listen to a command such as sit, you want to not only praise them vocally and say like, good job, yes, good puppy, good boy, good girl. You also want to reward them with a treat or something that they actually and genuinely love. Whether that's a treat, whether that's a toy, whether that's just petting them, whether that's cuddling them or hyping them up, clapping. Your goal is to make a positive experience just because of their outcome of listening to you. Moreover, you don't ever want to punish. Studies have shown that positive reinforcement is the best way long-term for a dog to learn a trick or a command, and punishing can actually be counterintuitive because they can get very aggressive as a result of you punishing them. So you don't want to do that, and again, just positive reinforce, not only during the puppy stage, but throughout their entire life. Number 2, consistency is key. So what do I mean by consistency? What I mean by consistency is that every time they sit, every time that they listen, and I mean every single time, you want to make sure that they are praised and that they are positive reinforced. For example, if your dog is learning how to potty train outside, and one day after they go potty, you give them a treat, and then the next day they go potty and you don't give them a treat, they can get really confused. If your dog is doing a bad behavior, you want to make sure to ignore them and not give them attention. But if you do that, if you don't give them attention on one day and then you give them a reaction another day, then that'll give them mixed signals, and it'll be very hard for them to learn what is right and what is wrong. So it is very imperative that you are consistent with everything that you do in teaching your dog, because again, that'll really help long-term after the puppy stage. You want to be consistent in terms of praising your dog, but also you want to be consistent in terms of your schedule. Dogs don't like random changes in their routine or schedule. Obviously, there are outliers out there. There are adventure dogs that have a different day every single day. Kudos to them. But for most dogs, for people that like me that work a 9 to 5 and have almost similarly the same schedule and routine every day, dogs like to have that same schedule too. Basically, just make sure that you are consistent, not only with positive reinforcing, but also with your schedule too, because that'll really help in, hi Jackson, hi. But that'll really help in helping your dog learn in the best way possible. Hi, good boy, what are you doing? Are you here to share your insights? You fluffy dog. Golden rule number 3 that I've learned in my experience is to be patient. Especially if you have a puppy, they are just babies in this world. They are new to everything. Everything around them is new to them. They are learning constantly. And with that, it takes time for them to learn and get accustomed to new tricks, new commands, a new home, a new parent, a new owner. So definitely be patient with them and make sure that you are utilizing and balancing your time and also their time too. I will say though, Aussiedoodles are a little bit more on the smarter end, so I wouldn't be surprised if your dogs learn tricks within 2 weeks or even in a month for the rest of their lives, just because of how intelligent they are. But again, just keep in mind, they are still babies. They are still puppies. They're still learning. So I definitely, oh, Jackson, hi. I definitely recommend not getting too frustrated if your dog is not getting a trick right off the bat. Number 4, treat every second as a learning experience. Even if you're not in a set training session that you might have scheduled throughout the day, or even with a personal trainer, like everyday life, your dog is constantly learning. So make sure that when you are, how you're acting, how you're praising them, certain behaviors and reactions towards them, they're learning on how you react, how you are talking, how your tone of voice is. So just make sure that, to keep that in the back of your mind, that try not to get mad even if you're having a bad day with them, because again, they might remember that for the rest of their lives. You can't get up there, Jackson. What are you doing? One example that I used to do with Jackson when teaching him how to sit is, outside of our actual training sessions, before I would give him his food, before I would go out to walk him, I would have him sit, and that really helped enforcing that command outside of our training sessions. So I definitely recommend doing something like that. And lastly, my golden rule number 5 is to try not to repeat yourself often. In an ideal world, at least for me, I want to just say sit and Jackson will sit right away. I don't want to have to say it 4 to 5 times, but if you're in that learning process and you do say it 4 to 5 times, that's actually teaching your dog that, okay, by the 5th time, I'll actually sit. So again, going back to the whole being patient thing, say sit, just wait a little bit and they'll think on their own. That'll actually mentally stimulate them, mentally exercise them, and make them wonder, okay, why is he just waiting for me? He's not doing anything. There's no reaction. There's no attention. What do I have to do to get his attention, to get his praise? And that is obviously by sitting. So I definitely, again, be patient, but also give your dog time to learn and time to think. But yeah, guys, that concludes today's video. Jackson is still on this table here having a little party by himself in the morning. But if you have any tips or any rules that you follow, please leave them in the comment section down below. I'd love to learn and know what you guys are doing. As a reminder, please hit that like button as it really helps in the YouTube algorithm. And if you're new here, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button too, as it really means a lot to Jackson and me. If you aren't part of our Aussiedoodle Lovers Facebook group, the link is in the description. As I am talking right now, we are at 2.5K members. It is growing exponentially. It is very awesome. Everyone's sharing their pictures of Aussiedoodles, videos. I just love watching them. And so if you don't have to have an Aussiedoodle to join, but I'd love for you guys to be part of the community on there. Tell your dogs you love them. Jackson, I love you. Thank you for watching and have an amazing day.